So I'm going to go back to doing Ingram, and you're going to co-host this with me, because after all, why not? You've been around forever. And we're going to make it a different kind of show, and we're going to look for donations to keep it on the air, which is and now, I mean, we're not alone in that, because Roadkill Radio does that, and Rafe Mair's coming up with a new program starting on March the 3rd, run by donations.
When it's time to railroad, everybody lays railroad tracks. I sent this to you about 2.5 weeks ago. A guy by the name of Clay Shirky. Back in the early 90s, when Stuart and I had Whimsy, Clay he's a university professor. He has been studying the internet. He's an economics person, and he's been writing about the internet ever since. Well, his latest predictions are, well, it's not his latest predictions. His latest topic is the collapse of journalism. The collapse of the conventional journalism that was driven or was funded by the captive audience that the traditional newspapers, radio stations, and television stations had in their advertisers. To put it very quickly, the advertisers are no longer a captive market. They have another venue. They have the internet. And instead of just one or two or a small number of channels in a local given area, or one or two networks across a nation, they are now in a bidding war with every single website on the internet, with Google and Yahoo and MS and Microsoft through Bing and all of these various search engines and advertising engines, creating a market for advertising that has dropped the cost of advertising to the point where it's absurd how little it's costing to have your ad on websites all over the planet. And it's dropped the bottom out of the market for the newspapers and the television stations and to a certain extent the radios, although they're kind of different, and we'll get into that in a bit. But the point is that community journalism, or journalism for the community, the fifth estate as it's known as in North America, has been funded by the advertising dollars that were gained through the advertising that was put into the medium. That whole thing is disappearing. The TVs and newspapers can't afford to have a journalist sitting in your local town council listening to what's going on. They can't afford to send somebody out on a 3-week or a 3-month investigative journalism digging expedition to dig up dirt on Enron or Watergate or whatever it was that they used to do, and they used to do tons of it. We're going to lose an aspect of civilized life that was a set of checks and balances.
Well, we got CanWest in bankruptcy, Interwest in effective bankruptcy today.
Local news.
CJOR, Radio 600, is no longer broadcasting. Jimmy Pattison, the Jimmy Pattison station, turned to 600 AM. It used to be the #1 radio station, or #2 at least in Vancouver. It's dead air because he just shut her down. And we have so much conventional media, and the business of doing a public broadcasting kind of thing, although we're not public broadcasting, but I guess we could start a nonprofit society.
Yes.
The business of doing this is not new. KVOS and all the other public PBS stations across the world. CBC in Canada, radio, is a public broadcasting thing run by taxpayers' daughters and so on. They do not, did I say daughters instead of dollars? Yeah, taxpayers' dollars.
Well, maybe taxpayers' dollars as well.
Yeah, and what they're saying, my glasses
are eating.
My glasses are hitting it? Yeah. So PBS, taxpayers' dollars, this kind of thing, and we're going to see if we can develop something that people actually want to see. And we decided to do this last Thursday night is when I decided to do it. I'm not sure when you decided, Richard, because
I decided yesterday, but that
well, okay.
we were talking about it.
But last Thursday night,
otherwise disposed.
I absolutely made. I after the last Wednesday night program when we had Roger McAfee on, yes. And I loved the program and it was fun. I said, "This is what I want to do." Please watch it in the archives. It is an absolutely excellent program talking about the RCMP and the justice system in Canada and how the cops are lying. Yes,
it's wonderful.
So I decided.
We're going to have him back on.
I went back the next day, the very next day. I decided I don't care. I fight to get. I was fighting to get tax questions on. I was working like 5 hours to send out these emails and send out stuff and people weren't calling because it was too much trouble for them to phone at that particular time to get a free question. And the other part was the people that were phoning half the time were people that I likely wasn't getting. I could have got $450 for them. So that's the other.
Cutting into the other side of the business.
Was cutting into the other side of the business. I think I can graph it and show it. So we're still going to do the odd tax question sometime, and we're still going to have Dan on and so on. And we're still going to do the some business shows, but we're going back to doing what I used to do with Ingram on daytime television when I had a daily show. And we won an award back in 1998-99. We won the Hometown Video Award, #1 talk show on television out of 1,408 talk shows, which is pretty good. And, you know, it was actually about the same weight. We had different set and so on. Maybe we'll give ourselves a little bit more artistic values, and we're going to do things, and I want you to tell us if there's something that you want. In other words, if you're an artist, if you are an author, if you have a project, Save the Salmon, Pilt Down Water Wheel on a stream someplace, if you're got something to do that you want to talk about on computers, something of that nature, if you have a political bent that you want to bring up, if you've got something controversial that those mainstream guys down at CKNW aren't covering, or
they're going to give you 10 minutes and not really get into the whole meat of the issue.
Well, that's right. And again, if we're talking about Inter-West, we're talking about CanWest. Remember, CFUN shut down a month ago, too, 2 months ago, and another talk radio station went away. And, of course, they were not even doing really good talk show. Sorry, guys. I mean, I know some of you, and you're having fun. But Stu Ferguson, hi, I had a Christmas dinner with Stu. But you guys were all trying to do this 3-minute sound bites. You know, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes, and that's it. And I like doing an hour on a topic, or half an hour at the least. And even my old show on Shaw, now that Fanny Kiefer's doing, it's got 4 guests a show, and I used to do 1, maybe 2. So you never get, you just sit sort of watching, and it's gone. I mean, why didn't you? What about that question? So we are going to be a phone-in show. If you happen to be watching right now and you want to give us a call, you can call us at 866 980-0499, 866-980-0499, and we'll be glad to take your calls from around the world if you happen to be watching.